Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marnise Nicole and I'm an acrylic painter, and today I wanted to do a quick video just basically explaining how I use photo references. And so, photo references can be very controversial in the art community. There is tracing, there is inspiration, and there is copying, which we never want to do, especially if it's of another artist's work. And in that case, you really want to draw inspiration from. And sometimes new artists just really don't know how to do that correctly. And so I felt like today I wanted to show you exactly how I use photo references to create my own inspired artwork. So I want to talk about this piece because this is the piece I most recently did, and it was a most recent type of photo reference piece. I used a couple of different photo references, but the first one that immediately inspired me was this picture right here. This is actually a picture that I saw on Jazza Art's Instagram. He had posted it of his son who was drawing, and I thought it was adorable. And so a few weeks later, that picture was still in my head. I thought it was cute, and I kind of liked how kid was just sitting there drawing. I thought that was something that's like such a small magical moment that you can capture. And me personally, I love to capture small moments, but I focus more on painting African American women having those small moments because it's not really celebrated in art, and I like to focus on it. So I of course didn't want to paint a kid, and I didn't want to copy Jazza Artist kid at all, but the idea was there. The idea was relaxing on a couch, enjoying sketching. It's something that I actually do all of the time when I get off of work. When I am in an art mood, I actually just get up, grab my sketchbook, and just kind of lay around, watch Netflix, and just sketch. So that positioning in that photo was very familiar to me. And it didn't really click that I wanted to paint that piece until about a week or two later when I saw this. Now, I am recently very much into keeping a planner, journaling, and basically the whole concept of manifesting the things that you want to happen in your life. So I saw this picture of this girl, and she's journaling, she's doing all the things, and I was like, hey, why don't I do a painting about manifesting, like of journaling and like the small little moment of relaxation? Why don't I do a painting about that? But still, I did not have all of the kind of pieces that I needed to create the artwork. And so finally, I had this last piece, and boom, this inspired all of it because it inspired the color palette, it inspired the feeling. And so now I had this kind of like idea board of what I wanted. And so I went in Procreate, I created this little mock-up. I will often do mock-ups and kind of play around with coloring for pieces, and I use that as my inspiration. And so it started off that process of like weeks of contemplation and the three ideas coming together, and then I actually got started on the actual piece. In case anyone was wondering, this is how I pretty much get sketch ideas, painting thoughts, ideas, concepts out onto my canvas. Yeah, this mess. This is how it always starts. So explaining the concept a little bit, let's just take a look at it. So it's a sketch of a girl stretched out on her couch. I changed the legs like 3 different times. That's why you see all these different shadows here. But basically, here's a girl on a partial part of a couch, stretched out in underwear with a sketchbook, and her foot is now up over the edge of the couch. This leg is leaning into that leg and on top of some pillows, and she's just really focused gaze on what she's sketching. That is the plan. This makes sense to me, so I don't know what that exactly says about how this makes sense to me, but that's how all of my painting starts, with a mess. My reference photo is really just creating an idea of a painting in my head before I get down and sit to canvas. I don't just see a photo and like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and paint exactly this, because that is not helpful to me. And that feels a lot more like copying versus drawing inspiration from. Do you know what I mean? Now, there's nothing wrong with copying or tracing, in my opinion, when it comes to things like improving. For example, I very much suck at drawing any type of ligaments, hands, feet, general facial proportions. It's not my area of strength, and so I will often get reference photos and practice sketching them and drawing them and tracing them so that I can build that muscle memory of creating more realistic figures. Or else I get a painting like this, which I will zoom you in close to this foot, and if you can see, that is not a realistic foot at all, but it's a figurative statement of a foot, and that's where I am in my art journey, and I'm happy there. And then even further, we have this sketch, which I actually just started. This sketch is a combination of photo inspiration. We started off with this here, and then we also had the idea of an ornate fan, which I've really been wanting to paint forever. So we have this. And then I don't have a color scheme yet because I really just want to paint with this light phthalo green, which is a brand new color to the Goldens line that I literally just bought a couple of weeks ago. And so right now, any color story I have is just going to fit around this. And so the sketch is obviously not even complete yet, but what I did was take this photo and this fan and kind of use those two images that I got again from Paxo.com to create this messy sketch. And so I'm going to work on this, but I hope this has given you really a great picture of how you can use photo references to gain inspiration. You can of course trace for your own building of skills with anatomy, and you can use photos as like direct references for body positioning or kind of how you want to place things, or for lighting and that sort of thing. But you can also take a couple of different ideas and a bunch of photo inspirations and take those ideas, mesh them together with your style, and really incorporate your own kind of messy sketch so that you have a painting base to build on. At least that's how I use my photo references. And so I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you want to see a full painting time lapse for this. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.